When the Civil War ended in 1865, Atlanta lay in ruins. The city had been burned during General Sherman's march to the sea, railroads destroyed, homes gone, and businesses turned to ashes. But from that devastation, a new Atlanta rose, one rebuilt in no small part by the vision, labor, and determination of its black citizens. Freedom had just come to thousands of formerly enslaved people across Georgia. Many flocked to Atlanta, seeking safety, work, and community. The Reconstruction years that followed brought both opportunity and danger. Yet despite limited rights and the constant threat of violence, Black Atlantans built churches, schools, and businesses that became the foundation of the city's rebirth. Churches were among the first institutions to rise from the ashes. Big Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church, founded in 1847, became a cornerstone for organizing, education, and activism. Soon after, other Black congregations like Wheat Street Baptist Church and Friendship Baptist Church emerged as community anchors, places where freedom found a home. Education was another pillar of progress. Out of a shared belief that knowledge was the key to advancement, newly freed Black men and women established schools with help from the Freedmen's Bureau and Northern missionaries. In 1865, a small school in a church basement grew into Atlanta University, one of the first historically Black colleges in the South. Later, it would join with Clark College, Morehouse College, Spelman College, and Morris Brown College to form what is now known as the Atlanta University Center, a world-renowned hub for Black excellence. Atlanta has long been a heartbeat of the civil rights movement, thanks in large part to the legacy of two towering figures. W.E.B. Du Bois arrived in Atlanta in the 1890s to teach at Atlanta University. While there, he shaped a new era of Black scholarship and activism. He wrote The Souls of Black Folk, a groundbreaking call for civil rights and Black dignity. His work in Atlanta laid the intellectual foundation for future movements and thinkers. A generation later, Atlanta gave rise to Martin Luther King Jr., born and raised in the Sweet Auburn neighborhood. King would go on to lead a national movement, but he never forgot his roots. From the pulpit of Ebenezer Baptist Church, he preached justice and nonviolence, inspiring a generation to act. Together, Du Bois and King made Atlanta more than a city. They made it a symbol, a place where ideas sparked change, where words became action. And today, their influence still echoes through Atlanta streets, schools, and struggles for justice. As Atlanta rebuilt, a Black middle class began to emerge. Skilled Black laborers helped reconstruct railroads, rebuild homes, and reopen businesses. Black entrepreneurs and professionals, barbers, tailors, grocers, doctors, and teachers, began opening establishments that served both Black and white communities. Auburn Avenue, which would later become known as Sweet Auburn, grew into a thriving center of Black enterprise. But progress was not without struggle. Reconstruction's promises were soon undermined by segregation, disenfranchisement, and the rise of white supremacy. The 1906 Atlanta Race Massacre devastated parts of the Black community, leaving many dead and businesses destroyed. Yet the people of Atlanta refused to be broken. Out of tragedy came renewed determination to build and to lead. By the early 20th century, Atlanta had become a symbol of Black prosperity in the South. Leaders like Alonzo Herndon, a man born into slavery who became one of the city's first Black millionaires, built the Atlanta Life Insurance Company, a powerful institution that provided stability and economic opportunity. Churches and businesses along Auburn Avenue continued to flourish, nurturing a community that valued faith, education, and enterprise. The legacy of that era shaped the city's future. When the civil rights movement took hold in the 1950s and 60s, Atlanta's strong Black institutions became its backbone. The same churches, schools, and businesses that rose from the ashes of war provided the leadership and strategy for a new fight, the struggle for equality. In 1973, Atlanta made history. Maynard Holbrook Jackson Jr. was elected as the city's first Black mayor, and at just 35 years old, the youngest in its history. His victory marked a turning point, not only for Atlanta, but for the entire South. Jackson inherited a city bursting with promise and tension. The civil rights movement had reshaped Atlanta's identity, but economic opportunity remained deeply unequal. Jackson believed that political power meant little without economic power, and he set out to change that. Under his leadership, Atlanta launched a new era of inclusion. Jackson required city contracts to reflect the diversity of its people, insisting that minority-owned businesses receive a fair share of public contracts. His affirmative action policies at Hartsfield Airport construction projects opened doors that had been shut for generations. That airport, later named Hartsfield-Jackson, became his signature achievement. It transformed Atlanta into an international hub, fueling decades of growth and making the city a gateway to the world. But Jackson's impact extended beyond business. He promoted police reform, expanded neighborhood services, and championed the arts. His vision of the city too busy to hate became a reality rooted in fairness, not slogans. When Maynard Jackson left office, he left behind more than buildings and policies. He left a blueprint for Black political leadership, for shared prosperity, and for the new South that Atlanta came to represent. Maynard Jackson didn't just govern Atlanta, he redefined what it could become. Today, Atlanta is often called the Black Mecca of the South. From the political power of City Hall to the influence of its universities, entrepreneurs, and artists, the spirit of those early builders still defines the city. The story of how Black Atlantans rebuilt after the Civil War is not just a chapter in history, it's the foundation of modern Atlanta's soul.